Steve Thornton here, percussionist, Latin percussion anyway. Music background, I've been playing here in Malaysia since 1989, but I've been playing actually since I was a kid. I was influenced by Mongo Santamaria. Mongo Santamaria, he lives inside me for forever, you know. Herbie Hancock wrote a song called Watermelon Man.
That's right.
And that song was the song that got me playing percussion, because I heard Mongo Santamaria playing that, and I wanted to be like him. So I followed Mongo Santamaria until I became like a son of his. You know, I went and met him when I was about 17, and he let me play with him, and he let me play with his band. And then, of course, you know, later on I played with Tanya Maria, and then I met Miles Davis and worked with Miles Davis. And Miles actually changed my playing a bit too.
Yeah, right.
Because Miles, Miles taught me to use the instrument and to play the music. You know, in other words, he told me, like,
not play the part.
Yeah, play the instrument, but don't play Latin. Another one of my big influences is Stevie Wonder, you know.
Wow.
Stevie Wonder is amazing to me because he's a percussionist,
Right.
and a songwriter. He's as great as any drummer that he has in his band,
Right.
you know.
Right. Right.
So another thing about Stevie Wonder that I love so much is that his parts, and when you listen to his music, his percussion has parts,
Yeah.
you know, to the arrangement.
Right.
You know, actually, Aubrey, I didn't really know Malaysian traditional music until I came to Malaysia.
Yeah.
And now, of course, you know, you got one of the greatest traditional percussionists to play it along with us, who's, you know, Kamaru, who's played with us, with Sitine Orliza, and he played with me, with my group, Afro Asia.
Right.
He played with me many times. So whenever I relate to traditional rhythms, I have to listen to him. When you hear a traditional instrument, it actually makes you think of those rhythms that come from those traditional instruments, those traditional instruments, you know.
That's right.
So I tried to blend the bongo, the durabuka, and the bongos or whatever percussion I'm playing with the rhythm that the music is about, whatever the music needs. Actually, when I approach music, I pretty much think of rhythm like that, how the rhythm is going to fit the music. It's beautiful. Number one, your music is so original. The first song we did, based off that Inang rhythm, which is very good. That's a traditional rhythm. But you know, jazz, whether you play a traditional song or you play a pop song, like what makes jazz to me, no matter what song you play, but just being able to improvise.
That's right.
You know?
Improvisation has
improvisation. You know? Okay. So I mean, you create great melodies, great harmonic changes, and there's plenty of room there for improvisation. Man, I love these congas, man. Don't talk to me about sheets, because, you know, I read the musicians usually. You know, I don't read the chart. I don't like, I mean, I can, but I'd rather follow the musicians. Because especially like this session we did today, there's plenty of room to make changes in the music and the arrangement. Well, let's say like the break that we did in the last song, right? You want a percussion solo in there.
Right.
I listen to the parts that you already have, the parts. So I find a part where we can use for improvisation. Right. So, you know, sometimes a jazz musician, right? I've seen Charlie Rouse with Thelonious Monk, you know?
Yep.
And Thelonious Monk may sometimes maybe even stop playing. But Charlie Rouse does his solo, and then after he finishes, Thelonious Monk will go and play to the piano. And when he play, he would take off where Charlie Rouse, what he heard.
Right.
Which is, so sometimes, you know, you have to listen to the music and listen to the parts that's there before you play whatever part you're going to play. You know, music is to me like a puzzle, and there's a picture in that puzzle,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you got to find the right pieces to fit to make the picture come clear. You know, you just can't take pieces and put anywhere. They have to fit into the puzzle,
Okay.
so
But I
the
want to know
picture
from-
will become clear. Listen to the music. You know, like Ma said, don't just play the instrument, play the music. You know? So I listen to the music
Right.
and really pay attention to what the musicians are playing. Because when I listen to the music, that's why I say sometimes it's like, for me, it's like reading the musicians,
Right.
not so much reading
you're
the music.
feeding off the
Yes.
rest of the music.
And I'm finding a part for me
Right.
in the arrangement that they're playing. And then also we develop the rhythm based off the melody, because the rhythm, that rhythm is very important for the melody. So it's, in a way, it's like that. I'm looking for the rhythm that I'm going to play in the melody that you got. I listen to the song. Let's say you have a song. You have an introduction.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like when I listen to your music, I call you the other day,
Yeah.
and I said, Aubrey, I think in this ballad, maybe you should just start rubato,
Yeah.
and we don't have to come in.
Yeah.
You know, the rhythm, right?
Yeah.
So it can build like that.
Yeah.
So
But how do you know? Okay. But how do you know it should be a tambourine and not a shaker or not a triangle? But you know what I'm saying?
yeah, sometimes
different.
sometimes you have to think like that. You're a percussionist as well. You know, sometimes you have to accent one, the first beat.
Right.
Sometimes you need to accent two. Sometimes you need to accent three.
Is that instinct
Sometimes you
or
need
is it
to accent four. It's color. It's adding color to the music. You know what I mean? But you have to listen to the arrangement.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned from Ralph McDonald. As a songwriter, he was.
Right.
You know, sometimes like if you listen to the song, just the two of us, you will hear how he built
Yes.
percussively that song.
Correct.
You know,
Although it's the same
with parts.
groove, but
Yeah.
it builds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you listen to a percussionist, and that's what you will hear. You will hear them build the song with the parts they play. Like sometimes this is not salsa music.
Yeah.
You can't start with the conga right away, from beginning to end.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that
Yeah,
traditional
that's
way of
different.
playing music.
Yeah.
That's a tradition. That's the way it goes. You know, people want to dance, so you got to get them from beginning.
Yeah.
Sometimes technique is good. Sometimes you might have a young player who's technically good because of what he learned in school, right? But sometimes you might have a musician, also can be young, but the thing is experience. Experience is another teacher. It's another thing. You know, so like if you have the experience of listening to people like Mongo, Ayeto,
Right.
and Stevie Wonder as a percussionist and as a songwriter, and Ralph McDonald as a percussionist, as a songwriter, you know, people like that, Bashiri Johnson, you know, if you know different, Tito Puente, you know, Patato, you know so many different percussionists and how they use their percussionists, then that makes your vision a bit wider, your experience.
Right. So it's also the music that you've listened to.
That's right.
throughout the years.
That's right. Throughout your life,
That's right. That's right.
you know. Let's say for a lot of young musicians, a lot of younger players, right?
Yeah.
They have so much opportunity because if they know, or if they go to YouTube,
Yep.
you can find all of this music from everywhere, from Cuba, from Brazil, from China. You know, there's so much music from all over the world,
Yeah.
and that you can just listen to. You know,
Okay.
but one very thing is very important, right? Is to listen to the music that is composed. Let's say like you give me a song, you give me a demo, and I listen to it, or you give it the charts to a younger
Yeah.
percussionist, somebody who doesn't have the experience maybe
Yeah.
I have,
Yeah.
but he can read. You might give him the parts. You might write for him. You might write where the kabasa plays, where the
Right.
shaker comes
Right.
in,
Right.
or where the conga might
But
come
that
in.
doesn't give the new player so much room to express, right? Not so much. Not as much as.
Well, you're the one who give the musician the room. and the freedom to express themselves. You know what I mean? If you know that he has the experience
Right.
to give you what you want for your song.
Okay,
Not
so it's
only
not
per,
for parrots.
not only in festivals, but you know, also in small jazz clubs.
That's what you said just now.
Yeah, because
Why?
in small jazz clubs, the people are right there next to you. You know, like if you like, let's say a club like No Black Tag,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Alexis, or even Bobo's, the clubs, 3 clubs that we have here for playing jazz.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, 10, 20 people there. But when you play in the music and you have an opportunity to,
To show the music.
yeah, not only that, but people come to these clubs to hear jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
They come there to hear you improvise and take your solos and stuff like that.
Right.
The audience that comes, that's what they come in for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So those small clubs is very important for this type of music. And at the same time, it encourages us
Yeah.
to play what we're playing. Because you have a lot of great musicians here in Malaysia
Okay.
that can improvise like you. We should do it more. And that not only that, but we should have a platform for it. If we don't have a platform for it, then we have to create a platform for it. That means we have to go out to the people. We have to go out and play for the people. You know, we have, even if you have small festivals or small clubs here, or let's say if you got a small club in Penang, you got a small club in Johor, you got, you know, in Sabah, you got a small club. We have to find those clubs and take this music to the people. Let's say Farid Ali, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, he was playing guitar for many years.
Yeah.
But then he wanted,
gumboot.
because he wanted to create
Correct.
jazz
Correct.
and a sound and an identity that was different.
That's right.
So playing jazz with the gambus.
That's
So he made an identity like that.
Right,
He
right.
created an identity. You know, and people loved it. And people miss it now because there's nobody else to follow up on what he did.